All right, everybody, thanks for coming in. A lot going on right now. We're just getting a lot of breaking news here on this Thursday night. Welcome in if you're tuning into the live show, SalSports Live. I am live on your Twitter/Periscope, also live on YouTube and Facebook. You can find me all those places. Maybe you're just listening on the SalSports and Stuff podcast. And if that's the case, you probably didn't catch the live show on Thursday because I repopulate the audio and put it on the podcast and put that out there on Thursday night into Friday. So let's get you caught up on what's going on here on the breaking news. We got a couple of guests coming on tonight. One of them is Dean Marlowe, Bill's safety. Another one is going to be Erik. I hope I say his name right. Bacharach, actually. Sounds like the game, Bacharach. But he's from the Tennessean. We'll get his thoughts on everything that's going on as well. And yes, I am wearing my Yankees cap tonight, trying to give some good mojo for the Yanks to keep this thing going against the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, so here's what we have, the latest right now. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Bills and the Titans will now play on Tuesday night. He says 6 o'clock. It has not been clarified if that is Central Time or Eastern Time. I believe that will be Eastern Time because Nashville is in the Central Time Zone. However, we don't have clarification on that yet. Also, if there are more positive tests, like tomorrow morning, basically, when you're listening to Howard and Jeremy on WGR, tomorrow morning, right during the 8 o'clock hour, that's when we usually find out if there are more tests. The tests that are taken today are then basically the results come in tomorrow morning, and that's when you'll get someone like Diana Rossini or Tom Pelissero or someone like that who basically tells you exactly what's going on. If there are no more positive tests coming out of Tennessee, that game between the Bills and Titans, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, will be played on Tuesday. Like I said, I believe it's 7 Eastern, 6 Central, but we're unclear on that. And then the Bills-Chiefs game, which is scheduled for Thursday night in Orchard Park, primetime Thursday night game, that would then be moved to Sunday, time to be determined, I suppose. And this is all happening right now. Maybe somebody has it. Well, you could talk about it in the chat box or whatever, but I don't have that in front of me right now. Maybe it's happening as we're talking live on the air here. So trying to juggle a lot of different things. So here's the other situation, though. If they do have more positive tests in Tennessee, and we hear that tomorrow. If there are no more positive tests, it's going to Tuesday, so the Titans can reopen their facility, and the Bills and Chiefs will play that on Sunday instead of Thursday. Whew, so confusing. If there are more positive tests tomorrow, or even the next day, I guess, because they haven't opened yet, and they need 2 days of negatives. If there are more positives, the game is going to be postponed in some way. I don't know when they plan on making that up, but the Bills and Chiefs then would still be on Thursday night. That's what we're hearing. That's what we're getting from Adam Schefter. I just put a story up at our website, WGR550.com. You can check that out as well. There's a lot going on here. I think one of the things I'm reading online as all this is going is it sucks you're going to lose a primetime game, as Mike says. I'll show right here. Mike says, sucks, we're going to lose. Praying for more positives. John, whoa, don't say that. Oh, my gosh, I can't believe you would say something like that. All right. So we lose a primetime game because another team can't follow the rules. Hope all is well. Thank you, Jason. Cleve Hill graduate right there. Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with that. But here's Mike. There, it sucks we lose a primetime game. Well, you actually get one too, maybe. You're going to get one on Tuesday night. I mean, 7 o'clock. It's going to be primetime. Here's the thing I want to tell everybody. I get all of this sucks. I do. I think the most important thing is get the Bills playing football. They're playing really well right now. And whether that Chiefs game, I agree with you. I'd love to be broadcasting a Thursday night game. I'd love to be on the sidelines, or in my case, in the moat on a Thursday night game right now. I'd love for that to happen. But the reality is it's probably not going to happen. The reality is that what's most important is just playing football and hopefully keeping this, great season the Bills have alive and going. I get why everybody's upset. Totally get it. And I think you have every right to be mad at the Tennessee Titans for putting the Buffalo Bills and other teams in this situation. But at the same time, I think the ultimate goal here for everybody, for the NFL, for all of us, for fans, is to get football in and to play football. And I'm hearing and I'm reading, well, then the Bills are at a disadvantage to preparing for the Chiefs. Yes, that's right. But that happens every week in the league. Every week, towards the end of the year, especially when teams play on Saturday nights and things like that. So there's a lot going on, and there's a lot to sift through, like I said. And Adam Schefter had the story. You can read it at our website, WGR550.com. It is Bills, Titans, move to Tuesday, provided there are no more positive tests. If there are, they'll scrub that game, postpone it, do something with it, and then they'll still play the Chiefs game on Thursday night. If they have to move the Bills game to Tuesday night against the Titans, the Chiefs game then goes to Sunday. It's a lot to think about. and it's a lot to basically take in as we go forward here tonight. In the meantime, I'm going to add right now Bill safety Dean Marlowe to the show. Hey, Dean, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, Sal? How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much for joining me. I mean, I don't want you to have to necessarily comment on the news since it's not official from the team yet, but we are seeing reports that you guys could possibly be playing on Tuesday night. You know, when you see something like that and you really don't know what your situation is, what goes through your head? How do you have to prepare mentally?
Like Coach McDermott does a great job at just keeping us focused at the task at hand, and we've been preparing like we're playing on Sunday, and just everything's out of our control. Only thing that we control is the present day that there is for practice and meetings and stuff. So we're obviously we're all aware of it, and this is our job, this is our livelihood, and we're taking every approach as a team, and we trust our coaches, our general managers, and the NFL that they'll make the best decision for our team, and that's that.
Yeah, and go back to that. Since the offseason, really, I've been super impressed with how the entire organization has handled everything, from Brandon Beane to Sean McDermott to all you guys. It just seems like it's full steam ahead. You don't let distractions really get in the way here. Even going back to having the infectious disease control plan in place before any other team, basically, it seems like Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane are on top of everything, and you've seen that firsthand.
Yes, they do a good job to relay the message of anything that's going on, whether it's the whole COVID pandemic thing going on, or something going on in the organization, or just families, anything that goes on. They have our best interest, and they do everything they can to help us.
All right, Dean Marlowe, Bill's safety, joining me. I didn't want to have to talk about all this stuff because it is going on, though. We do have to ask you. So let's get into some fun stuff a little bit, okay? First of all,
Okay.
let's tie it into football first. I did some research. You are the longest tenured player on the Bills with Sean McDermott. You were with him for 15 and 16 in Carolina, and then you come to Buffalo. So nobody on the team has been with him concurrently for 5 years. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
What is it about him or the defense or your situation that you stuck around with Buffalo in that?
Just going back to my rookie year. Sean has always looked at me as a stand-up guy, and a great player, a good guy on and off the field, and he just, every time we actually have a conversation, he always tells me that it's so great to see you grow off the field as a man, getting married, and growing on the field, and just seeing your play just skyrocket from when you were a rookie, a second year dude, battling your injuries, actually having the mental toughness to fight through those things, and coming back now, and knock on wood, I've been injury free ever since then, and it's just I don't know, we were actually a couple of teammates, we were talking about it, and we were just like, you've been with Sean the whole time, and I'm like yeah, it's been a while, and he's just someone that's a part of my career. That's how I take it as, and he's helped me. He's navigated me through the ways of, the good and bad times with everything. And he's an awesome guy to just, talk to when you need to talk to about family issues, or just something going on in your life, or, he's a football guru, man. That guy knows everything when it comes to ball. And if you have any problems with that or questions with that, he can help you.
You went to James Madison, former Buffalo Bills player Arthur Moats, also from James Madison. I used to do a TV show with him, actually. Do you know Arthur at all?
I do know Arthur. I do know him.
Yeah,
he was in Pittsburgh. He was in Pittsburgh when I was in Carolina, and then when I got here to Buffalo, I think he was just finishing up his career in Pittsburgh, and he's an awesome dude, and he actually graduated the year before I came in to James Madison, so I never played with him, never got to meet him at JMU, but I was able to meet him my rookie year when we played against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he did a great job in the media. Is that something that you're a great speaker? Every time we talk, we have good conversations. Is that something you've ever thought of doing something after your career is over?
Yeah, I mean, those things are actually just fun to me. Like you actually get to sit there and talk ball, and and talk about people that you and network. I never actually really thought like this is something that I want to do, but if the opportunity definitely presents itself, I wouldn't back down from it.
Bill safety Dean Marlowe joining me here on SalSports Live, also the SalSports and Stuff podcast. All right. Now, when I was in high school, now I got to tell you, I'm going to brag a little bit. I was a safety. I was a wide receiver. I was a good player, but I was too small to play in the NFL. Okay, Dean, that's really what it is. So, but I played at Cleveland Hill High School where you had some workouts, and I still have my Cleveland Hill Eagle. All right. That's where you went to work out. And I want to know, did some of that championship mojo rub off on you on that Cleveland Hill turf?
Hey, we had a couple of the DBs that stayed in Buffalo throughout the off season. And I'm located downtown. A lot of the guys are located in Orchard Park, but I appreciate everything that Cleveland Hill High School did for us during that time and letting us use the field and stuff. And we did everything we can at that field. And maybe you have some football luck that we.
Well, I'll tell you
how
old I am. It was grass. It wasn't turf when I played back in the day. Okay, but it is a nice facility. No, it really is. There's really good people there. And Dan Evans, your director of IT, he's a Cleve Hill guy. One of the team doctors from Cleve Hill. You have another guy, Matt Hunter from the stadium work. But it's just a nice fraternity. I just wanted to give a shout out to my school though, because it was really cool. It's just cool to see you guys at that school. It's so small, and to have you guys working out. And I'm glad you're able to do that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right. So in high school yourself, I read you ran track and you played baseball. What position did you play in baseball?
I was a pitcher and I played shortstop in center field.
Were you good? I imagine you were really good.
Yeah. So growing up, I played baseball when I was 5 years old, and I pitched. I played shortstop. I really wasn't a center fielder, and then as I gotten older, I was more of a pitcher. I kind of was a reserve center fielder, but more just shortstop and pitch.
Right.
Because I played quarterback in high school and I was able to throw really well. And when I got to high school by my freshman year, I played and I was good, but I just didn't feel that passion that I have for football, And going into my sophomore year of high school, I just told my family, my friends, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna focus more on football. I'm gonna just do what I can to get bigger, stronger, faster, and be elite. And I actually didn't start running track until my senior year, which I totally regret now, because if I would have been running track since I was a freshman in high school, I probably would have been twice as fast as I am now.
What events did you do in track? What events did you run?
I long jumped.
Nice.
I ran the 4x1 and I ran the 200s. So my 200 times were usually about 21.9, 22, which was pretty good for a guy that just throwing himself in the track. And I think in long jump, I would jump maybe about like a 17, maybe 18, which was for a senior in high school is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have the technique. I was just out there jumping. I didn't get my hips forward and extend my legs. Like, I didn't learn any of that until later. But those two sports, man, I really, I grew up playing basketball too, but I was so small when I was in high school, and I just like, you know what, I'm not gonna even try basketball because I'm 5'7", going into high school. I don't even want to try it. But I played when I was younger.
When did you have a growth spurt?
I was going into my junior year of high school. So about 15, 16 years old, I grew from like 5'11" to probably about 6'1".
Wow.
Yeah, just like two full inches maybe in about a year.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I read in your bio a quote. This is an amazing quote. You have your favorite quote is, and I'm going to read it to everybody. This is from the Bills media guide, the bio. It says, "Rehabilitation does not occur until the consequences are severe enough." Dude, that is deep. Are you a philosophy major as well?
Yeah. No. So I think that's a quote that just doesn't pertain to football, but just pertains to your everyday life. People don't want to stay proactive in things that they do, and they always want to act when something happens. And I think, the best medicine you can take is preventative medicine. And it's just guiding yourself throughout your life and your everyday, things that you do, and just trying to stay ahead of the game and just trying to do things that you can be ahead of. And, just not worrying about the problems, but anticipating the problems.
Sure,
And
sure.
my DB coach in Carolina, my rookie year, would always say to us, he's like, you got guys that are getting hurt that you never see in the training room working on their bodies, but they want to go into the training room when they get hurt. And, guys don't want to study this film or study that, until maybe until they get beat on a play, until they miss 5 tackles, until they drop 5 passes. They don't want to start doing this. And just
Right.
constantly creating that habit for you is just something that I think I keep that quote like in my head like all the time, and I think about it in everything that I do.
That's awesome. My wife is a mental health counselor and substance abuse counselor, and that's why that also spoke to me when I read that. That's pretty cool. That quote about rehabilitation. That's what she does. She helps people rehabilitate their lives in a lot of different ways. So that's really cool. All right, I got about a minute or so left with you. I want to get you out of here. I know you got a lot to do tonight, especially because you're newly married. What was it like getting married and being a married man now?
It was amazing. One of the best days of my life. I mean, we did it in the middle of a pandemic, right before everything shut down. It was in Cabo, Mexico, March 19th. And I think everything here in Buffalo actually shut down that week while we were in Cabo, because we had some friends here reaching out to us that things were closed. We had actually a couple of friends that my wife is really cool with here were actually here in Buffalo, and they didn't travel to the wedding because everything was just a mess. But it was great. I mean, we had a big crowd, but we had a lot of people, cancel within 48 hours due to, what was going on. And it's totally understandable. Like we understood every aspect of it. I mean, like, this is something that I don't think anybody has ever experienced before. But, the wedding happened. We had to leave as soon as possible. I think we left 2 days after. We were going to spend the week there. And we came back here, and then we got into quarantine for 3 months. And after that, it's just like things just, started opening back up slowly and all this stuff going on. But, it happened at the perfect time, and, we enjoyed every aspect of it.
I'm sure. All right, 2 quick questions for you. I'll get you out of here. Number 1, if I put your iPod or your music, whatever you use, iPhone, on shuffle, what is the most likely artist or group to come up?
You're probably gonna see a little bit of Future. You might see. Oh man, like for me, I'm the kind of guy that I have some pop music, I have some R&B music, I have some hip hop music, some rap music. So like, I mean, you might not even know. I don't know, but honestly, I'm in the car right now, just getting home from actually getting a haircut, and what's on my screen is Future. So if you go through the shuffle stuff, there's a whole bunch of things, and when it comes to music, I listen to everything.
All right, final question. Everybody wants to know this. What is it like to tackle Derrick Henry? You started last year against the Titans, so you know what it's like. What is it like to tackle Derrick Henry?
He's a big dude, man. I mean, he's Tremaine Edmonds size at running back.
Right.
And he's 6'5", he's 250 pounds. He runs like a deer, and he's just a solid guy. And it's just I got to bring all the 205 pounds that I have in me to tackle him. And it's just it's crazy because he's just so unique. Just his running style and how fast he is and how quick he is. And people think because he's so big, oh well, you can get him, but he runs really fast too. So it's going to be a challenge for us, and we're looking definitely forward to that.
Hey Dean, thanks man, all the best. Glad to talk to you again. I know we don't get our chance to see you in the locker room, but it was nice to catch up with you again, buddy.
It's no problem. Thanks, Sal. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot, and go Cleve Hill Eagles, baby. Thanks a lot for that.
Yes, have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
All right, that is Dean Marlowe, Buffalo Bills safety. We're going to get to our next guest, and I'm going to say his name, hopefully right. It's Erik Bacharach. Erik, am I saying your name? Is it Bacharach?
You were pretty close there, Sal. It's Bacharach.
Bacharach. Okay, thank you very much.
All kinds of versions, so that was, I'd say, 95% right.
All right, cool. Well, you know what? My name Capaccio. A lot of people get that wrong as well. So we have that in common. All right, let's start with the news tonight from Adam Schefter. What are you hearing on your end from Tennessee, from the Titans side of things? Has this been confirmed? I don't think we've got anything from the Bills on this yet. And what do you make of the news of no more? If there's no more positives over the next couple of days, they're going to move the game to Tuesday. If there are positives, they'll not play the game, or I should say postpone it to another date.
Right. So far, I have not confirmed this through the Titans myself. Obviously, the news is fresh. Just a few minutes ago, Schefter came out with that report. Listen, the past 10 days, 8 of those days, the Titans have returned positive COVID tests. So, you think about having to get negative tests back Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That right now that seems like a tall ask. But then you think about the incubation period, which the CDC says is 14 days. The outbreak started last Tuesday. As far as it coming to light, we know Shane Bowen tested positive a few days prior to that. So it's tricky. I know everyone here in Tennessee has their fingers crossed. Right now the Titans are up to 13 players who have tested positive, 23 team members in total, including 10 personnel. On that player list is 5 starters, 9 players on the active roster. So, any way you slice it, the Titans are going to be severely handicapped. But, I think just getting to Tuesday would be a major win right now.
Yeah. So obviously all of the news that's coming out about, penalties and things like that. I mean, what
Right.
have the Titans said anything? Because normally we will get Mike Vrabel on a Wednesday as the other, head coach. We're not going to get that this week because they're not even at the facility. Have they come out and said anything about this entire situation and solution? And what are you hearing from an investigation side of things from the NFL?
To this point, not yet. The Titans have not. Mike Vrabel, last time he spoke with us was Tuesday. Both him and John Robinson were not made available today. Obviously, players were not made available. As far as the investigation is going, it's ongoing. Last I heard, as of Thursday afternoon, they are looking into the incident that was reported yesterday about a group of Titans players meeting at a local private school here in Nashville. And there was a couple other reported incidents of Titans players gathering. That would have been a day after the outbreak came to light. So that obviously has protocol violation implications. From what I've heard from a league source, the Titans were made aware, the team, of the responsibility not to go out and gather separately, do any in-person activities after the team facility closed last Tuesday, and this outbreak came to light. So, with that in mind, you would think fines, potential loss of draft picks, everything right now is on the table. It really kind of depends, on what else the NFL finds, the NFL and NFLPA find in this investigation that is ongoing as of today.
Do you think that the NFL might somehow make an example out of the Titans? Because it seems like they're maybe looking for, hey, we want to make everything happen here. And if one team's responsible, I mean, Mike Florio had what he said on the radio tonight in Nashville, from what I read, was maybe even suspending the head coach and the GM the rest of the year, $10 million fine, loss of a first round pick. I mean, that's the equivalent to that's like institutional control, lack of institutional control at the college level. That's what you would see. Yeah,
that would be massive. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that big. It remains to be seen. But, I think it's a fine line between wanting to make an example of the Titans and also not wanting to impose such, huge punishments so as to encourage teams to, not want to come forward with maybe some violations that aren't as severe. If you really bring down the hammer on the Titans, I think in a way you're kind of compelling teams, to try and maybe cover up some slip ups here and there. I think, it is a fine line between wanting to crush the Titans, and we'll see, exactly what they're guilty of, what the NFL finds, but also, just being aware that whatever happens here kind of sets a precedent, and also will have ramifications throughout the league.
Do you think it is unfair to force the Titans to play without practicing so much, and also to maybe or play with such a depleted roster?
I mean, I do, but that's kind of the nature of a COVID season. It wasn't going to be totally fair all the way around. It's certainly not fair, to the Steelers, to now the Bills. The Steelers have to give up their bye week in week 8, to facilitate the week 3 game getting moved to October 25th. So, I think unfairness is kind of going to abound, this year, and especially in this situation. If the game is played on Tuesday, theoretically, the Titans, if they get negative tests back tomorrow, also on Saturday, maybe they could get in the team facility by Sunday, in which case at least you have a couple days in the team facility on the practice field to get ready. That would be the best case scenario. And at least, it's not a situation where you've got a game Sunday and the first time you're on the practice field is Saturday where you go through a walkthrough. So I think there's potential there where it's not, a total disastrous situation as it could be. But, is it unfair? I think it is. But that's just kind of the nature of the situation we're dealing with.
All right, let's talk about the team on the field. 3-0. They've won a few close games here. They're scoring some points. How is this team winning? And, is it sustainable the way they're winning?
I don't think it's quite. I think at some point it's going to catch up to them if they keep playing the way they've been playing. It's 3-0 has taken 3 game-winning drives by Ryan Tannehill, 3 game-winning kicks by Steven Gostkowski. Eventually, that's probably going to catch up with you if you keep playing like that. The offense has looked so. I don't think it's looked quite as dominant as it did toward the end of last season. Derrick Henry, is up there with the rushing leaders, but he's not rushing with quite the efficiency that he was last year. Tannehill's been solid. I think the problems for this team lie mostly on the defensive side for sure. They've been abysmal in trying to stop the run. I believe they're ranked 29th in that category. And then, just factoring in the fact that they likely won't have Jeffrey Simmons, might not have Daquan Jones. Both of those guys are on the COVID-19 list. They're top 2 defensive linemen. You take those 2 guys out of the equation. I think Singletary could have a field day just running against this defense. So I think the defense, has to improve, and it's going to be hard given the circumstances.
No doubt about it. Ryan Tannehill had such a monster year last year after they made the switch. Has he been on track how has he played basically overall?
Yeah, I think against the Vikings, it was a little bit of an uncharacteristic game for him. Struggled a little bit in the red zone, which was totally uncharacteristic of him since he took over the starting quarterback job in Week 7 of last year. He was the best in the NFL in the red zone. On the whole, though, he's more or less picked up where he left off last year. The play action is still a staple of this offense. When you talk about the threat of Derrick Henry and just what that creates, for the team offensively, Corey Davis is having a pretty good start to the year. Obviously, they're without A.J. Brown, or they've been without A.J. Brown as he deals with a bone bruise in his knee. He's been listed as limited on the practice report the past couple of days, which is obviously an estimated report of what they might have seen because the Titans didn't practice. So I could see him potentially playing on Tuesday, especially because the Titans have had a number of wide receivers come down on the COVID list. So he would really be needed. Jonnu Smith, tight end, has looked really good. So I think Tannehill, for the most part, has looked strong, has picked up where he left off last year. Again, I think the offense, is humming at a very reliable rate. It's really the defense that is the concern right now.
All right, and finally, we have an offensive coordinator here in Buffalo who's getting a lot of love with Brian Daboll and what he's done, and he's probably going to get some head coaching looks at the end of the season, especially if Josh Allen continues to trend. I've really been impressed with Arthur Smith. Tell me a little bit about what Arthur Smith has done, and is that the kind of guy do you think deserves some head coaching looks with what he's been able to do with Ryan Tannehill in that offense?
Yeah, I think absolutely. He's an interesting case because, he's been with the organization since the early 2010s, was the tight ends coach for a while, hired last year with no prior offensive coordinating coaching experience. First 6 games of last year struggled with Marcus Mariota, but everything kind of seemed to click once Tannehill took over. And I think as much as Tannehill, Henry are really producing well, I think a lot of that is a testament to the way that Arthur Smith is really extracting the most out of them that he can. To me, it goes back to the play action and how much this offense relies on that. He's really good at calling, big shots. Khalif Raymond, wide receiver for them, has come up with, a bunch of big plays last game. He had 240 plus catches So it seems like Arthur Smith really knows his personnel well. Again, he's been with the team for a long time, longer than most people in that building. And he's just pushing all the right buttons, has been since Tannehill took over. And I think all of that, this time, 2021 offseason, I think for sure he's going to be getting some looks as far as head coaching jobs go.
All right, Erik. Well, look, we know one thing. They're not playing on Sunday. I don't know if it's going to be Tuesday or not at all. So enjoy your weekend off, I guess. What are you going to watch some football otherwise? Because normally, you'd be at the game or whatever.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch some football. Honestly, Sal, it's kind of like Groundhog Day here. Right. Every morning waking up at 6:30, waiting to see, if the Titans have any positive test results, and the stakes are only going to be higher the next few days because of sort of just the game relying on negative tests. So I'm for sure going to try and enjoy some games on Sunday, which I had the chance to do last week, which was unusual. 2 weekends in a row. It's totally unprecedented. So I'm going to try and enjoy that. But, the next few days are going to be critical here for the Titans for sure.
Erik, thank you very much for joining me here tonight. I know you got a lot going on. You're super busy with all the moving parts, especially breaking news right before we went out tonight. So thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend away from the team and then getting back on the saddle again.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. That is Erik. I think he said Bacharach is how you say his name. I want to say it right again. And he is with Tennessean. All right. We're going to get on out of here. I went maybe even a minute or two longer than normal. It's already 8:01. I try to get you out of here at 8:00 tonight. Bucks, Bears. You know what? I think the Bears might have a chance tonight. I know the Bucks are playing well, but they're a little bit banged up. And, the Bears, short week. Bucks going to Chicago. I think I might like the Bears to hang in there tonight. 3.5 is the spread. I'd probably take them. I think it's going to be a closer game tonight than maybe some people realize. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset and Chicago wins. Probably against my better judgment. I'll say, you know what? Let's go with the upset and say Chicago. Survivor pick this week. Deadpool pick this week. I'm still alive in both. I'm going to go with the Ravens for my Survivor, and they're playing the Bengals, so I'll take them on the death pool. But without Lamar Jackson, maybe last couple of days, we'll see. I think he's going to play, but we don't know for sure. So we'll see where all that goes. Thanks a lot to Erik from the Tennessean, Erik Bacharach. Also to Dean Marlowe, Bill Safety. Thank you for listening, whether it's on the SalSports and Stuff podcast. You can check that out on Apple iTunes. Also, please remember, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That's why I'm wearing pink. Real Men Wear Pink. It's my Real Men Wear Pink campaign. And if you want, you can go to my Twitter page at SalSports. You can see how, if you want me to do a video message for somebody, wish them a happy birthday, or just a shout out, talk smack to your friends, whatever it is, it's $50, and all of it goes to my Real Men Wear Pink campaign and the American Cancer Society. You can check that out through a cameo on my Twitter page at SalSports, or you can just donate to the American Cancer Society. My Real Men Wear Pink campaign. My goal is $2,500 for the month. I'm at $1,600 right now. I'm $900 short. So go and do that, please. Also, thank you very much for coming aboard this show for the last few weeks, because it's been a really good success. We got a lot more planned for you, and we're going to keep going forward every Thursday night at 7:30, but maybe not next week if the Bills play, because we don't know. That's all up in the air right now. So check it out at WGR550.com. We got the latest for you. Howard and Jeremy will have the latest news for you tomorrow morning. I'll be joining them at 7:00, and hopefully we'll have a little more to give you and exactly what's going to happen with the Bills and the Titans and the Bills and the Chiefs and all the stuff going on right now. Thanks a lot for joining me here on Sal Sports Live and the Sal Sports and Stuff podcast as well. Have a good night.